Hello, Ladislas Maurice from thewanderinginvestor.com. So today I'm near Managua, the capital city of Nicaragua, about an hour away on the beautiful Pacific coast. So stunning beaches, good surfing, and we're gonna have a look at a capital appreciation play. So namely land plots that are right on the beach. So first line for $65,000, obviously negotiable, everything's negotiable in Nicaragua, but the price point I find is very, very attractive. So just to give it a little bit of background, right now I'm actually staying in a nice resort. It's a community. They have a golf course, a pool. They have a whole bunch of homes here. A lot of Americans, Canadians, some Europeans, and wealthy people from Managua own homes here, live here full-time or part-time. So it's nice. This is obviously a very different play. It's for people that want lifestyle and to live here in a very Western and comfortable setting. But where we're gonna go is a 10-minute or 5 to 10 minute bike ride away, where it's still dirt roads, it's still very much Nicaragua, and that's where the capital gains are. So not the comfort, but the capital gains. So I am here with my American agent, Diego. How you doing, Diego?
Welcome all. Very excited to show you guys the wonderful opportunities we have.
How long have you been here in Nicaragua?
I grew up here, but living straight has been 10 years now. I've been here for 10 years, best 10 years of my life.
All right, fantastic. So we are gonna jump on Diego's bike. We're gonna ride through the nice development. There's a link below if you wanna find out about this development. And then we're gonna go check out these plots of land and also discuss the situation as well in Nicaragua, because that's always one of the main reasons why people don't want to invest here. So we'll discuss this in detail. So is this like one of those American communities with people going around in golf carts and stuff?
Absolutely. It's one of the few places in Nicaragua that has a golf course. So it does definitely bring in the golf enthusiast, right? I mean, who doesn't want to play golf out on the beach in the tropics? A lot of people appreciate the gated community. It really takes care of all the logistics.
Yeah. Look, the reality is trying to maintain a home when you're never here in a tropical climate in a country like Nicaragua can be a bit complicated. So places like this just take away all the stress from home ownership overseas. I wouldn't invest here for rental income, but just as a pure lifestyle. I mean, look at this. This is really nice. And they're like little tiny homes as well that they have. I don't know, for like $150,000, little homes. Nice beach, golf course.
We're also one of the closest beach to Managua. So for people that have a hike or a flight, especially Americans, it's not that far. They get right into Managua and then they can get right out to the beach. It's another pro behind being in this area. Used to be, it's 13 kilometers from here to the top of the road.
Can we stop here for a minute?
Yeah, I'm stopping right now, I'm just telling you. It was 13 kilometers from this point, from the beach to the top of the road.
Cool, so when I came here 4 years ago, this whole paved road up to the main road, which you said was 13 kilometers, right?
13 kilometers away, yeah.
It was all dirt, and now they've paved, what, 11 kilometers of it?
I would say 12 and a quarter. All we have is about 500 meters left to the center of town from here.
Okay, so this is a big catalyst for the area. If they were to complete the last 500 meters, they will eventually, but I mean, this is Nicaragua, so it could take a while. But essentially what was a little village accessible only by 12, 13 kilometers of dirt roads is now just a 500 meters of dirt road. So that's huge.
Absolutely.
How is it during rainy season?
So what they've done is even in the last 500 meters that they have left, every year they come down and they treat it with a material called Selecto. And they come with a big packer and they pack it down. So it's very solid. So even in the rainy season, it doesn't affect us much anymore the way that it used to.
Yeah.
But they can only work on this during the summertime. So we're hoping that by March, April, they come by this year and they put in the last little.
Yeah, so clearly, compared to the community, by the way, there's a link below if you want to get in touch with them. I mean, this is very different. It's not the same level of comfort. So now we're gonna drive to that lot. We'll see the beach, we'll see the views, and we'll see why I think that it's it's a good long-term capital gains play for patient investors. So this is it.
So this is our lot. It is exactly 700 meters squared, which is roughly 7,500 feet squared. You're right up against the Pacific Ocean.
What's up with this structure here?
There used to be a stilted house.
Okay, but
on
people
the
can just get rid
but
of
when
it.
the owner purchased the place, he didn't like the build, so he ripped it down. He left
Okay.
the foundation in case he wanted to use it in the future.
I mean, just look for surfers, this is amazing. I mean, this is proper, like, beachfront. This is first line. Look at this beautiful beach. And look at these waves. So if you surf, I mean, I would hope to flip a place like this in a few years' time to a surfer. I mean, the plot itself is, I mean, whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, so $65,000.
$65,000 is asking. Everything is negotiable. This is Nicaragua.
What about the fees?
So what happens is 200 meters off of the high tide back here in Nicaragua, the law states that we have life-term lease contracts. So what that means, as long as you keep up your end of the contract by paying your yearly fees, the lease is yours as long as you want. Now, beachfront, front row in this town is $10,000 for a new contract fee. It's a one-time payment with the township. So on top of the 65 or whatever agreement we come to with the owner, it's $10,000 on top of that. And then your yearly taxes will be $500.
Okay, look, I put an offer through for one of these. I threw a low ball. By the time this gets published, I may or may not have bought. That's besides the point. Look, the play here is long-term capital appreciation. If you take a step back, I cannot think of many places in the world where you can get a beachfront lot that's nice, with a beautiful beach and actual surfing, a mere an hour and 10 minutes away from a capital city of over 1 million people, and an hour and a half from an international airport with direct flights to the United States. So from this point of view, it's very attractive. Now, also when you take a step back and look at the specific place, one, there's this luxury community that we just saw with the nice housing, etc. They're expanding, they're constantly building new housing. A lot of high net worth individuals are moving there, so this is obviously good for this community here. There will be a spillover effect. Also, the road will at some point come when, I mean, you sound pretty bullish, but...
I'm hoping within the next 24 months, yes, but it is Nicaragua, and we could hope within the next 60 months. 2 years to 5 years, so.
I think that's more realistic.
There we go.
And also, look, there are a lot of political issues in Nicaragua that constantly make headlines in Canada, in the United States. And you have to take a step back and look at it through the lens that you're being fed what your government wants you to think about Nicaragua. So when you hear Nicaragua, you hear major issues, it's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. When you're on the ground, it's perfectly fine. The government has been certainly better at managing its finances than either Canada or the United States. It has its current account deficit now under control. There's an increasing amount of foreign investment that is coming into Nicaragua, specifically from China. Because for the past few years, capital was rather fleeing Nicaragua, but we're starting to see an inflection point with recently, a few months ago, the government signed major contracts with the Chinese. So the Chinese are going to be building a brand new international airport. They're going to be remodeling the existing airport. They're going to be building a big railway between Managua and Masaya and Granada. They're going to be building a big gas storage facility approximately 200 kilometers north of here. They're also participating in building a major coastal highway between almost here, right, well, 15 kilometers away from here?
Yes, the beginning of that road would be starting here, or at least it would. Our main road would bleed into the beginning of that road. So no matter what, we're attached to it. To get on it or off of it, this would be your town you'd go through.
So major
and it would
highway.
go all the way to Costa Rica.
all the way, essentially all along the coast of Nicaragua up to Costa Rica. So all of these major CapEx investments are happening in Nicaragua, regardless of all the news that you're getting on CNN, on Fox News, etc., on what's happening here. So look, is it a higher risk proposition to be investing in Nicaragua than to be investing in Costa Rica, for example, or Mexico? Sure. But like, where are you going to get this sort of lot for $65,000 negotiable, right? An hour away from a capital city of over 1 million people with infrastructure coming this way. So I think that it's a very decent long-term capital appreciation play with relatively minimal downside risk. So like, how many foreigners actually live in the town, not in the resort?
There's about 7 of us that live here full time. Right now, three of that 7 are visiting their home country, but I mean, you've seen everybody else over the course of the day. So there's 7 of us full time here now. Foreigners that own in our town, that's the full timers. There's about 20 of us that own and pop in and have future projects planned out, and the town is growing. It's been developing and turning into something.
Cool. And before people get too excited, one of the biggest downsides, apart from the $10,000 transfer fee, which is not nothing, is liquidity. Can you say 2 words on liquidity here? So if, for example, if I were to buy this and I try to sell it, how many years? Because we're not talking weeks, we're certainly not talking days, potentially we're not talking months, we're potentially talking...
I mean, for the upside of what you're looking to do, if you're really looking for an ROI, if you're looking for, as you said, a small gain, it's going to take anywhere from 3 to 5. But international, I mean, as you know, and as most know, international real estate, so if I catch a lead in the United States, a lead lasts me 3 to 6 months till I sell. So if I have a property and I'm selling it and somebody comes in, it's 3 to 6 months. Whereas in international real estate, these things could take anywhere from 3 to 7 to 10 years because people have their affairs to put into order, they're coming to move here, whatever that may be. Or if there's a big boom, that happens quicker, but generally it could happen anywhere from 3 to 7, I would say, if you're looking to move.
Look, at the end of the day, what's the thesis? The thesis is you come here, you negotiate hard, you try to get a better deal than the 65.
Absolutely.
Because there's low liquidity. So, I mean, you know, the cost of liquidity is that you can, when you own something that is not very liquid, you have to negotiate more, be willing to negotiate more. And then you sit on it for 5 years. I don't see too many scenarios where this would be worth less than $100,000 in 5 years from now. I think I'll just put it this way. This is like a 5 to 10 year investment horizon. Within 5 years, especially if the road does eventually come here, if all of these new catalysts, all these highways, the railroads, everything gets delivered by the Chinese, and when they start having a go at it, they're quite quick. I've seen this everywhere in the world. It's not US aid, it's Chinese, literally Chinese investments and construction companies that come here, so they do things quickly. This should very much result in positive capital appreciation. Look, from a political point of view, if suddenly the US were to manage to overthrow the government through a color revolution like they like to do everywhere in the world, then you would have more American investment coming here and your property would also increase. So look, the best case scenario for Nicaragua is just staying on its path, being a country in Central America that is not completely aligned with the rest of Central America, that's a bit more neutral, a bit more closely aligned to the Chinese, to the other side, so that this way they can position themselves as a base for Chinese investment long term and really get to milk this unique positioning. So this would be the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is generally just chaos because the two sides are having a go at each other. So it's not risk-free, but I would say that it's certainly much lower risk to be investing in Nicaragua than what media in the West likes to portray it as. Any thoughts?
I agree with you 100% there. It's actually alarming how many people land from the Western world, either Canada or America, land in Nicaragua and are absolutely shocked at how safe, how different it is than it's being portrayed. It's alarming. Like you'll get here and be like, oh my God, it's shocking. This is not what we thought.
Cool, great. So look, if you're interested in plots of, I mean, you even have plots like second line, third line for like...
We have inventory.
You have definitely,
if anybody who's looking for...
20,000, 25,000?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, 25,000. If somebody wants to, they can reach out and we can find whatever that is they're looking for.
Cool. Personally, I find that the prime is more interesting, but I mean, you can get really cheap lots here, just second row, literally. Cool, so if you're interested, you feel free to get in touch with Diego. There is his email right below. All right, cheers, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, amazing.
Make sure to download my free ebook, 12 Mistakes to Avoid When Investing in International Real Estate, which you can find on my website, linked below, and feel free to follow me on Instagram @TheWandering Investor. I look forward to hearing from you.